3, 2, 1, ignition. Oh shit! Oh my god!
Okay. Stop recording. Small little thing. It launched, but the thing that I was trying to test, I don't know how well I tested it, but there's the bottom of it.
It like blew. Oh!
Okay. So it destroyed 2 of the fins, and it did fire it apart because of the ejection charge, which there's no parachute in these, which probably would have been smart, but I didn't put a parachute on these.
3, 2, 1. Press the button.
It's gonna explode. There it goes. So it went higher, but it was also unstable, so
It went
yeah. I think I did a better job catching them. Oh wait, so it landed right here. This is where that ejection charge went off. And then it yeeted the nose cone over there. Look how far that ejection charge eats that. Okay. Did the fin survive? Oh! One still broke.
That's an improvement.
I guess. The other one had 2 break.
This looks
Nice.
like a thing.
Alright, hi, hello. Those 2 rockets that you just saw fly are these 2 rockets right here. I designed them, I built them, and I launched them, and I'm here to tell you what went right, what went wrong, and what the general direction is for this rocket. Alright, so this is a very small rocket with a very small goal, and that goal was simply to test the idea that fins slightly canted to the side, in this case 5 degrees, would induce a spin on the rocket that would cause it to spiral like a football and spin stabilize itself. So it would spin like this and keep itself on track. These rockets are very small. This is Axis 1, the first one that you saw launch. It ran on a half-A rocket motor. This is Axis 2, which ran on a slightly larger A rocket motor. So twice the propellant of this one. They're the same size, but this one right here, the motor is actually half-packed and this one is fully packed. These 2 rockets had a very simple goal. They had no parachute. They were just made out of 3D printed plastic. Both the same file with different motors loaded into them. Both meant to launch one time and to get some data. Hopefully to simply test this theory of spin stabilization, and then I can just toss them out and be done with them. So, they did successfully do their mission. Everything went right. Even though this one has 2 broken fins and the top got thrown off, and this one has 1 broken fin and the top got thrown off. That was the point. Both of these rockets have no parachute system, no recovery system of any kind. It's just a motor in a 3D printed shell, launched and tested. Axis 1 went a little bit better because it stayed straight and true. I haven't actually seen the footage yet, so I don't know if it successfully spun, but you should be able to tell that. And with the footage, I don't know that we will really be able to see that very well, but it was really less about whether or not it was spinning and more about if these to the side made it go straighter. On Axis 1, I would say yes, it went way up, and then when it stopped firing, it moved over, the ejection charge went off, which would have activated a parachute, but in this case, Axis doesn't have one, and then both parts slammed into the ground. Yes, the main body sustained a bunch of damage, but this motor is in here so tightly that the whole point is it's not supposed to come out. So this is supposed to break. It doesn't matter what happens to it because it's a 1 launch no matter what. We weren't planning on recovering this. Correction, I was planning on going out and recovering it. I wasn't planning on recovering it in a state that I could launch it again. Now, Axis 2, on the other hand, Axis 2 went a little bit crazy. Now, I don't know if it was the more powerful motor or what, but you can see in the test footage, it didn't really go straight. It started off great. It could have just been that it wasn't set up perfectly. That could be some inconsistency with the fact that unlike RP1, which is sitting right up there. RP1 on its second launch used a launch stand built specifically for it. Both Axis 1 and 2 launched on just universal launch risers that were then placed on top of a piece of steel. So there is a chance that Axis 2 just had a little bit of variability and it wasn't set up as perfectly, and that is what induced this, but it launched pretty well, and then it flipped over on itself and spun a few times before pointing down, and I think it still was going pretty fast. It slammed into the ground completely together, then the ejection charge went off and created a little explosion, and actually a little hole in the ground. But yeah, that's really it for this video. I'm sorry for the lack of content, but Axis is a very small rocket, a very small program to test spin stabilization really quickly and cheaply. I just quickly print out this piece. It's a 3-hour print out this piece, 2-hour print, slap them together, put a motor in it, take it to the launch site, yeet it up in the air, and just see what happens. Axis is simply just a way to test these smaller motors that I had lying around, so I put no money into this. These motors were just lying around in my room, and I built a rocket around them and then tested the whole fin thing on them. But yeah, Axis had no intent of recovery and then reuse. It had very small fins that were very easy to break, and even though the motor has an ejection charge, it didn't eject a parachute, it just blew the rocket in half. And on both rockets, both pieces were recovered, so everything that we launched on that day was recovered, but these will never fly again. These are to sit on a shelf and remind me of when Axis flew. But yeah, this is a very small rocket program. We may do more, as I do have more A and half A motors, so I may reprint these again and go launch them again. They are kind of fun to just shoot off, and they don't go super high, but they're just kind of fun to watch twirl around in the air and whatever. But I may also modify this design or make a new design to use the A rocket motor so I can just keep flying with them. But yeah, this is my small little design, Axis, launch 1 and 2, both combined in one video because they were launched on the same day, and it's such a small rocket that there was no reason in making 2 launch videos. So this is one launch video, test flights 1 and 2, on 2 separate rockets. Unlike RP1 where you had test launch 1, it was recovered and then flown again. With Axis, we just launch it, then launch another. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about continuing this, or should we just kind of throw it to the side because it is a very small thing, and what should we pursue the bigger rockets? RP1, I don't know if you've seen the video yet or not, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you haven't seen it, go check out RP1's second test flight. It was very eventful and really awesome. I'm not going to say much more, but it was really awesome with the upgrades to the rocket and the launch stand. It was amazing. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go down and subscribe. It is completely free and you can change your mind at any time, and it helps me out a ton. And while you're down there, go ahead and slap a like on this video. Again, helps me out a ton. It's completely free. Also, while you're down there, comment something funny about Axis. You know, whatever you want. Just leave a comment on this video. Also helps me out a ton. But anyways, that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.